Welcome to College Smart Radio, helping you bring into focus the true cost of college and how to tackle the runaway cost of financing a college education. College Smart Radio is hosted by Beatrice Schultz, a certified financial planner and founder of Westface College Planning. Now, here's your host for College Smart Radio, Beatrice Schultz.
Welcome to College Smart Radio. For many high school star athletes, continuing to play their sport in college may be the ultimate dream. Many high school athletes, parents, and even coaches are not sure of the steps to take to move from star high school athlete to college athlete. How do you know if he will fit into the college sport life? Is she Division I material? How important is GPA, SAT, ACT if you're also a recruited athlete? On today's show, we'll be addressing all these questions and more to help you create the college game plan for your student athlete. Hi, I'm Beatrice Schultz. Welcome to our weekly show, College Smart Radio, where we help you tackle the runaway costs of a college education. Our show is all about bringing up-to-date and practical advice to parents who are dealing with the costs of a college education for their kids. With some private schools costing well over $60,000, $65,000 a year, and a UC costing $35,000, and a California State University running $25,000, parents need more help than ever. We bring you that help by sharing ways to pay less, tapping into financial aid, and prioritizing your source of funds to make sure you get through the most expensive years of your life. Based on my own education and experience, I share my insights with you week in and week out. I hold a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering and a Master's degree in International Business. I am a certified financial planner and the owner of the San Carlos-based college planning business, Westface College Planning. I host workshops and webinars on college planning and consult with parents on a daily basis. In addition to my insights, I bring in experts in many areas of the college process, from counselors, financial professionals, financial aid officers, student coaches, parents, and even students. You'll learn firsthand the ins and outs of how to pay for college and survive financially. In addition to our show, you can find lots of powerful information at our website, collegesmartradio.com. We have many articles that I've authored with up-to-date information on navigating the waters of paying for the runaway costs of college. We also have a monthly e-newsletter full of content about college planning, and we have a link to our free community parent workshops and webinars that I host to teach parents about how to pay for college and how the financial aid system really works. So let's get into today's show. My guest on today's College Smart Radio show works with student athletes to help them realize their dreams to play sports in college. Steve Britschgi is the president of Advocates for Athletes, a Bay Area-based hands-on consulting and coaching business created to help educate and guide student athletes and their families in their pursuit of a college scholarship and or admission to a school of their choice because of their sport. As a former college athlete and parent of a recruited collegiate basketball player, Steve understands what it's like to go through the college recruiting process. He's been in and around sports his entire life, including an over 25-year career in the athletic club industry, and has coached in one capacity or another for the past 15 years. Steve has a passion for sports and helping athletes reach their potential. Through his guidance, Steve educates the families on how to realistically assess their child's level of talent and provides a path to take full advantage of the educational and life benefits that could be earned through playing sports at the collegiate level. I was introduced to Steve through local friends who have a high school junior who has a dream to play college baseball. Steve's been working with him to help realize his dreams. I'm thrilled to have Steve here in the studio with me today. Hi, Steve. Welcome to College Smart Radio.
Hello, Beatrice. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. So how does a student or parent know if their athlete is capable or even wants to play college sports?
Well, first, it's all about the passion that the athlete has, and they should discuss that with their athlete. Does their athlete get up in the morning to go practice? Do they stay late at night? Do they love playing their sport? That's really the first thing, is to make sure that your athlete has the passion. And then the second one is do they have the ability? And you need to realistically assess your athlete's ability. The best thing for you to do would probably be to have your athlete talk to their high school or AAU coach and find out their thoughts.
About their ability and their passion too, I guess.
More so on their ability.
Yeah. So what kind of questions or how do you recommend parents and students kind of sit down with their coaches to talk about whether they are fit for college sports?
No doubt. One of the first things that we have our athletes do is to make a meeting with their high school coach or AAU coach and sit down and discuss with them what their thoughts are, what they need to work on, and if the coach thinks that they have the ability to play at the next level.
So, Steve, well, maybe we can start by talking a little bit about what you do or what advocates for sports do. Advocates for athletes, and when a family would think about talking to you to help you through this process.
There's no perfect time to start the process, but the sooner you start the process, the better your chances. So many families today, because of the competition to get these scholarships and spots on teams, many families are starting freshman year, sophomore year, and for sure by junior year. If you haven't started by at least your junior year, then it's most likely too late.
And do you find that the kids have that passion already by their freshman year, if that's what they want to do, or?
Oh, no doubt. You know the kids that love their sport. You can see it when they talk to you. Just one or two questions, and you can see the gleam in their eye that they'll do anything they can at any time to play that sport.
Yeah, that's passion. I can hear the passion in your voice. I love it.
It's pretty fun.
So tell us about how you get started, or how a family gets started. They're like, okay, I think we want to do it. We believe I've got the passion, I've got the ability, or I think I do. There's so many different levels of Division I, Division II, Division III. How do you determine what's the next step? Do you choose kind of based on ability, this is the schools you should target, or is that even later in the process?
What we do is we use 5 different criteria to determine whether an athlete is a Division I, II, or III athlete. One of the first things that we do is we have the athlete talk to their coaches. We do an athletic assessment on the athlete. We look at numbers that college coaches look at as far as height, weight, speed, strength go. We look at the level of recruitment that the athletes have gotten so far, and then we do a parent-student questionnaire to determine what it is the parents and the athletes want out of the situation. Many athletes just want to go Division III, where there is no athletic scholarships, and where they're looking for a more well-rounded person and athlete. Or again, many athletes want to go Division I, where there is athletic scholarships, and they need to put in the time and the effort and have to be the best to play Division I.
So most of these athletes have been playing sports most of their lives, or all of their lives, and now they're thinking about playing in college. Do you also assess for kids, or you talk to them about, I'm guessing, sort of if a student could play Division I, II, or III, do they go Division I, or can they be good enough to play kind of all the time in Division III instead of being on the bench in Division I? Is that part of the process or not so much?
It's part of the process, but it just depends on the athlete. Everyone's plight is different. Some athletes just want to play Division III, where they don't have to put in the hours and hours and hours of practice. Division I look at it as Division I is 5 hours a day practice, Division II is 4, and Division III is 3 hours a day.
Okay, so that's part of the assessment of what the fit's going to be for the student.
All about finding the student athlete their best college fit, where they will flourish, where they can play, and where they will be happy and get a great education. So
you said one of the 5 factors is to find out if they've been recruited, and what does that mean?
It means are they receiving any recruiting letters whatsoever? Recruiting really starts when you start talking to the coach. It's not about a questionnaire in the mail or a camp brochure. Recruiting really starts when you start talking to the coach, either by email or on the telephone.
And when you talk about working with students that are as young as freshmen, should they start talking to coaches right then?
Well, they can call coaches, but coaches can't call them. There's certain NCAA rules that says when a coach can call an athlete. And it's most of that is not until after the athlete's sophomore year. But again,
okay,
if you love your sport and you want to reach out to coaches, you can call that coach at any time as long as he picks up the telephone.
Okay, and it's not illegal for the coach to pick up the phone as far as how the rules go.
A coach can pick up the phone when the phone rings, and that's what you want to do. You want to get that coach on the phone. You could also go visit the school and set up an appointment by getting that coach on the phone and sitting down in front of the coach and telling him your desires at that time as well.
So you're a student athlete, you think you want to play sports in college. How does a student know which college need athletes? Or who to talk to if they don't have a dream of, hey, I want to play at University of Oregon?
What we do is we set up a personalized game plan for each athlete. So we will ask them a series of questions. What is the best school for you? And based upon their answers, then we will research schools, say that they want to be an engineer. So we and they have an athletic ability of maybe a Division III, Division II athlete. We'll look at all the schools in the country that have engineering, and we'll put a list of schools together based on the answers to the list. What is the best question? What is the best schools for you?
Great example of an engineer that isn't an athlete. Does it matter what your marks are, your SAT, your GPA, your ACT, if you want to play sports at the school?
Oh my goodness, grades matter, grades matter, grades matter. I currently working with an athlete that is so disappointed with his grades and didn't realize until it was pretty much too late, his senior year, that he needed good grades to go to the schools that he wanted to. If the better your grades, the more chances and the better chances of the better schools.
So the kids are looking at their grades, and you're identifying colleges that would meet their grade needs. Is there a minimum grade or a grade point average or SAT score that you need to even consider playing college sports?
Well, the NCAA rule now is you need a 2.3 GPA at a high school and a 2.5 GPA minimum out of a junior college. But that only gives you the schools that have a very low academic ranking. The better your grades, if 3.8 or above, you're looking at the opportunity to go to any school in the country that you want to. So it falls off from there.
So I want everyone who's listening to the show to be listening to that. Any athletes that are saying, hey, if I'm a great athlete, it's going to get me to college. It might get you to a college, but might not get you to your college of choice. We're going to take a break now. You're with us on College Smart Radio, where my guest today is Steve Britschgi, the president of Advocates for Athletes. We all know that college is expensive and will most likely be some of the costly years for a family. Understanding the cost of college and how to reduce expenses and navigate the financial system is always a smart thing to know. We'll be right back with Steve on College Smart Radio.
For more information on today's topic, visit collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. College Smart Radio continues in moments on AM 1220 KDOW. Contact Beatrice Schultz at collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. Now, back to College Smart Radio with your host Beatrice Schultz on AM 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to College Smart Radio, where we help you tackle the runaway costs of college. I'm Beatrice Schultz. If you've just joined us, I'm talking with Steve Britschgi, the president of Advocates for Athletes. It's a Bay Area-based hands-on consulting and coaching business created to help educate and guide student athletes and their families in their pursuit of a college scholarship or admission to a school of their choice because of their sport. Steve, we were just talking a little bit about the recruitment process. What are the, characteristics that an athlete needs to be successful in the recruiting process?
Good question, Beatrice. The first thing, obviously, is athletic ability. If an athlete does not have the ability to play at one of the three Division 1, 2, or 3 levels, then obviously it's going to be hard. But just because an athlete does not have the ability at freshman and sophomore year yet doesn't mean that they can't set focused goals in order to get bigger, faster, and stronger. But the 5 main characteristics are these. Athletic ability being number 1. Character is a close second. A lot of college coaches are looking at character just as much as they are athletic ability now. Been a lot of problems out there with some shaky characters of athletes in the NCAA lately, so character is hugely important. Number 3 and grades. I mean, grades are probably right up there. You can go athletic ability, character, and grades. being the three most important. Then you have to have passion, which is very important, because if you don't love your sport, you're not going to put in the work that it takes to become a success. And then last but not least, you got to have a little luck.
A little luck. Those strong attributes that make a high school athlete, like the strong workout ethic and the fact that they're training every day and they're already doing sports plus school together, those are the attributes that makes those kids likely to be able to be successful in college and also have jobs. And I was reading a statistic that showed that college athletes are graduating at higher percentage actually than the general population. I think I saw a number, 77% of college athletes are graduating from college versus 61% of the general population. And also I've heard that former college athletes are earning greater salaries than non-athletes once they're in adult life. But I'm not sure it's about being an athlete. I think it's about the kids that choose to be athletes are the ones that have that determination and hard work, and the ones that are going to work to also get the job. So I guess with those statistics, if you're high school athletes and you want to play the sport, why not continue into college if you can? Would you agree?
No doubt. That sports brings out so many good things that will carry an athlete through the rest of their life. I mean, also, you can just look at teamwork. It's exactly what you'll be doing when you get into the business world, and you're learning it at an early age. So right there, it gives an athlete the edge over kids that haven't been playing sports.
So, Steve, I'm sure some of our listeners have been thinking that you've been speaking to them throughout this show. Can you summarize, or let's talk about everything that the steps that you go through, the process you go through when you're coaching an athlete to help them become athletes at college?
Well, I'll give you a synopsis, but we do so many things.
Okay.
First of all, Advocates for Athletes is we put about 30 hours in to each of our athletes. I say 30 hours plus probably 150 emails throughout the process. The process can start, as I said, anytime. The sooner that you start, the better, because what we're doing through the process is we're creating a relationship with college coaches, and then we're cultivating that relationship. So when it comes time at the end of the junior year or beginning of the senior year, when coaches offer scholarships, they want our kids because they know that they have the character, the passion, and the athletic ability through our communications to them. So what we do is first we educate the athletes on the college recruiting process so they understand what it is that they're going to be getting themselves into, the definitions that they might hear, the rules. We get them registered for the NCAA Eligibility Center. And then we share with them recruiting tips and some of the most common recruiting questions so they know exactly what they're getting into. Then we put together a personalized game plan for each athlete based upon their athletic ability and their answers to the questions of what are the best schools for them. We then research schools together. We spend hours looking at schools, not only academic websites, but the athletic websites too, to create their list. And then we put a marketing plan together for each athlete. We create a film. We create their resume. We write letters together to the coaches, and we get them out to the coaches. From there, it's communication back and forth. And we teach our athletes how to be able to talk to college coaches, which is an invaluable tool, and then mentor them with goal setting all the way through the process.
So it is a very complete process, and like you said, 30 hours of help. How much are the parents doing versus the students?
It depends on the family.
Or how much how involved should the parents be?
It's a really good question, because before I started this business, and the reason why I did start the business is because my wife and I helped my son through the process, and we figure that we spent over 115 hours. And we did a lot of it ourselves. I've learned, though, through the process and after starting the business, that an athlete has to take the responsibility for themselves. It's their recruiting. They need to do the work. They got to accept the responsibility. Parents should be involved because it's a huge choice. It's a huge decision to where that athlete is going to go to school. So parents should be involved, and they should sort of be involved to the point where they're looking over the athlete's shoulder, but not being a helicopter parent whirling above their head the entire time.
And parents are definitely going to most likely get involved in the financial side of it. So what is the likelihood of getting a scholarship? Are there free rides for athletes to go to college? Does that really exist? What do you see?
Competition is very tough out there, Beatrice. The stat that I just recently heard is less than 50% of all NCAA athletes are on any type of athletic scholarship.
Less than 50%.
Less than 50%.
Okay, so 50% might get some kind of athletic scholarship.
And you're talking about a lot of schools out there, too. There's 1,700 schools that offer athletic opportunities in the United States. A lot of opportunities, but when you look at the Division III schools, there's 430-something Division III schools. They do not give athletic scholarships.
So when you're looking at Division I and Division II schools, when they are offered admission, does it clearly state on that offer you've been offered this athletic scholarship that, for example, may be based on continuing in that sport for 4 years? Or is it identified that way or not so much?
Athletes actually sign a contract. It's called the National Letter of Intent. And that National Letter of Intent, up until this past year, has been renewable on a yearly basis. So each spring, the intent is for a 4-year scholarship, but it is renewable each spring, and the school can not renew that scholarship for certain reasons as well.
So when you find that the students, I'm sure some students and parents come to you and they really need to know, they'll let you know, hey, I need to get into a college that's more likely to help me out financially, whether it's need-based, merit-based, or athletic-based. Do you take that into account when you're identifying the schools together with the family?
Yes, you have to take it into account because if certain schools are way too expensive and they're Division III schools and they don't even give athletic scholarships, then it might be a stretch. But a lot of those schools give very good money for grades, and there again it ties back into the grades. That's why grades are so important, because with a 3.5 and above GPA, there's a lot of money to be had for scholarships for the grades.
It's a good point about the merit scholarships, because a lot of some private colleges, some of the Ivy schools, and I'm not even sure how it relates directly to Division I athletic schools, but some don't even really offer merit-based. They're going to give need-based and maybe some athletic-based and aid. So that's something for parents and students to understand, is when they're identifying those schools, to have a sense ahead of time of what hopefully it's going to cost them. Because like everything, you don't want to fall in love with the school and then not be able to afford it.
I agree. You need to do your research.
So when you're looking at students and talking to their parents and kind of helping them through the process, what are the biggest areas where the parents just say, "Oh, I am so glad that I found this out about the process," or what are the surprises?
The biggest question that we get from parents is, what do we do? Who do we talk to? Where do we send what to, and when? And those are huge questions. That's the entire process. There's just not enough education out there about the college recruiting process, and that's why you need an advocate.
Steve, I really appreciate your help. Thanks so much for being with us on College Smart Radio.
Beatrice, it was great to be here. Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for sharing all your information. And a link to Steve Advocate for Athletes website with valuable information and interesting articles is available on our College Smart Radio website. That wraps up another weekly show of College Smart Radio. We hope you picked up some useful information today that helps you figure out ways to manage the runaway costs of college. You can hear us each week here on 1220 AM KDOW, Saturdays at 3 p.m. We promise to bring you up-to-date information from the front lines of helping parents deal with the most expensive years of their lives. I do have workshops and webinars that I host every month for families that are interested in learning a little bit more about how the financial aid process works and how they're going to figure out how to pay for college. For a link to a podcast of this show and our prior weekly shows, go to our website, collegesmartradio.com. You can also click on glossaries and links, and you'll see links to previous shows, the blog that we posted today about Advocate for Athletes, and also podcasts from our previous shows. And you'll see a schedule of our upcoming shows. Plan to join us at one of our upcoming Westface College Planning workshops. You can reserve a seat at the workshop either live or via webinar from the show's website, collegesmartradio.com. This is Beatrice Schultz. Thanks for tuning into College Smart Radio. We look forward to sharing more helpful information with you next week.
You've been listening to College Smart Radio with Certified Financial Planner Beatrice Schultz. If you have questions on today's topic, log on to collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. That's 650-587-1559. Join us next week at this time for another edition of College Smart Radio on AM 1220 KDOW.